What's up, everybody? We're doing a clean tone shootout today. We've got 5 different amps from 4 different manufacturers. We've got Soldano, Marshal, Orange, and Fender, and we're going to see which one delivers the best sparkly clean tone. So let's get into it. Okay, so we'll be shooting out 5 amps today. They are a Marshal DSL100 100 watt, a Soldano SLO100, a Orange TH30. We have 2 vintage Fender amps. We have a 1968 Super Reverb and a 1965 Deluxe Reverb. All amps and examples will be played through a Strat with the middle position, middle pickup. The heads will be played through a orange 2x12 cabinet with a vintage 30 Celestion speaker. So this first example has a hybrid picking style with some harmonics, because one of the ways I like to look for a nice clean tone is how it responds to various picking attacks and also how it responds to harmonics, the amp and the tone. So just to keep things nice and level as far as attack and volume goes, I'll be using a looper for this first example, and this is a dry right into the looper, right into the amp. So let's see how they sound. Just to give you an example of what kind of clean tone I'm looking for as far as the sparkly, I really like Eric Johnson's tone. Oh yeah, how original. Actually, a clean tone that I think is better comes from the band The Fix from the 80s and their song Red Skies. Check it out. Super clean, super sparkly. So the second example has a more strummy type vibe to see how the amps handle a stronger attack. Once again, this is a dry tone with the looper pedal. I like to take a moment and talk about the amps. The Orange TH30 has been upgraded with a Mercury Magnetics output transformer and choke. The Marshal DSL100 has the same upgrades, upgraded output transformer and choke by Mercury Magnetics. Those guys are great, check them out. The Soldano SLO100 is totally stock. My 1968 Super Reverb doesn't have the original speakers. Bummer! But I mic'd up the same Jensen 10-inch special design speaker. The 1965 Deluxe Reverb is totally stock with the original speaker. Oh yeah, a 12-inch Jensen. Okay, so I would like to admit that if this was a totally apples to apples clean tone shootout, every amp would somehow be going into the same speakers because everybody knows that makes a big difference. However, I thought this would be fun, pitting up these 3 modern heads against what is widely regarded as some of the best sparkly clean tones with these vintage Fender amps. So this next example, the third example, features the dry signal going into more of a band mix to see how it performs in a real-world band type situation. this last example has some effects that I like to put on a nice clean tone to give it a sparkly, dreamy, crystalline, shimmering quality, and that is compression. I have an Origin Effects Cali 76. Chorus. I have an Ibanez twin cam chorus. I'm using a nice reverb from this Eventide Space I got down here, and also a nice delay from a Strum Timeline. So that's it. What do you guys think? What was your favorite? What was your least favorite? I'll tell you one amp that really surprised me was the TH30, the orange. That used to be my main amp like 10 years ago, but I've kind of come a long way and I have a lot of other choices now, and I haven't really listened to it under a microscope in some time, but it really held its own against all these other ones, considering I think the TH30 is the least priced option. As well, it's made in China, but I really think that those upgraded mercury magnetics components really did a lot to it. Of course, the vintage Fenders are always going to be my go-to for this sort of sparkly clean tone, but I was really surprised how the orange TH30 held its own. The Soldano was really good too. So if I was pressed, I could get a good clean tone out of all these amps. However, the Marshal was a little bit thin and a little bit too harsh in the higher type frequencies. And if you looked at the EQ and the close-ups, the EQ was at 3 on the treble, so it was still kind of low. Although I bet you it would sound a lot better paired with a different kind of guitar like a Les Paul. So that was my clean tone special. Let me know what you guys think. Hit me up at shredpro411@gmail.com, and we'll see you down that dusty trail.